Thank you very much. My name is Nakayama, the head of finance and accounting. As was introduced by the moderator, I would like to pose questions that are heard from investors on a day-to-day basis. And based on that interest of the investors, I would like to ask questions to Mr. Ozaki, who is the Senior Vice President and Head of Global Business in this dialogue. And also, we will set aside time to accept questions directly from the investors. So we hope that you will take part in the Q&A session as well. So without further ado, let's start the session. So Mr. Ozaki, first of all, NTT's global business reorganization was carried out in July last year, starting in July, and NTT Limited was established anew in July of 2019. So can you talk about the activities of the past year at NTT Limited? If you could share that with us, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was appointed as the head of global business since July this year. My name is Ozaki. I really appreciate this opportunity. So as you are aware, in July of last year, NTT Limited was established. Now, NTT Limited combines NTT Communications, Dimension Data, and NTT Security. 150 companies have come together to create NTT Limited. And in each of these three companies, we had presidents. We also had employees for Dimension Data, NTT Communications, and NTT Security. So it's an aggregation of a very large number of people and companies. So that being the case, it's important that our line of vision are totally aligned among the total employee base. So we wanted to prioritize expansion of profit, not scale. And the second is that we shift to value-added services that are more profitable in nature and deliver value to our customers. So focus on value-added services and shifting to value-added services. And the final point was that we implement structural reform by the end of the year. That's what we try to keep in mind. Now, last fiscal year, we launched the structural reform, and we were able to implement structural reform. So in terms of the most recent financial situation, because of the structural reform, last fiscal year we had very large deficit, but now the structural reform benefits are now beginning to be seen. So therefore, I believe the company is back on track to drive profit. Now this fiscal year, we believe that, we have a target of 5 billion yen as a profit, and we're making efforts as a team to achieve this. The progress up until August has been very robust so far, but then because of COVID-19, the greatest risk is that our sense of urgency become lax. So therefore, it's important that we not become lax and that we further accelerate reform. Next, let me talk about the percentage of the value-added services. If the company is to become further profitable and if the company is to drive profits in a stable fashion, it's important that we increase the percentage of profit of business. And we have a situation where we have a structure whereby we can continuously drive profits from value-added services. Last fiscal year, 32% of sales was the percentage, but this fiscal year, in the COVID-19 universe, value-added services are actually increasing. 36% of sales will be achieved. And by 2023, we hope that the 50% of our sales could be driven by value-added services. So that is the reform and improvements which we're trying to drive as we speak. Now, in terms of examples of value-added services, let me try to explain what they are. This is an example from North America. In North America, a usage of cloud is by far most expeditious compared to other regions. And these customers, their mission-critical services are shifting from their customer premise to cloud in a safe environment. There's a demand that customers be able to migrate their mission-critical servers from on-premise to cloud, which means that they have a high-performance environment. And not just in North America, places like Europe and Asia included, they want to pursue IT reform. That type of demand is quite prevalent. So that being the case, in the case of North America, we have private cloud services being used. In case of Europe, we have data centers. In Asia, Microsoft public cloud that was being utilized by customers. So we are accommodating multi-cloud environment and offering managed services. So that is the type of proposal which we provided to this particular case. And the customers ended up choosing our service at the end of the day. So by reflecting value-added services, we were able to resolve customers' issues. And we were able to come up with an IT plan together with our customers, bearing in mind those elements. Next, from March through July this year, we had spread of COVID-19 on a global scale. At NTT Limited, we offered NTT a safe remote work environment. More than 500,000 remote offices environments were developed, and we also offered security environment for the customers. So we were involved in this very steadfast work. And also, as is the case with the program today, it's very difficult to have face-to-face events. So digital event services is now being proposed to many of the customers. Now, from this point onwards, if NTT Limited is to further drive profitability, what is required? There are two elements. First is sales transformation, and the other is improve productivity, business productivity. So let me talk about improving global operation efficiency. This activity has already been launched. In the case of Shared Service Center, this is a consolidation center for various operations. In April this year, we decided to establish two such centers. One is in Romania, the other is in Malaysia. And here, operational support services and also personnel and accounting services were consolidated. And we innovated the IT system and improved cost efficiency. And we are expecting 50 million cost reduction from fiscal 2020 to fiscal 23. That is our expectation. Now, what about sales transformation? By a correction, this is something that reviews go-to-market go-to-market strategy, so the customers will be more incentivized to use our system. Around about 1,700 customers are there, and we decided to categorize, resegment these customers, and digital transformation, IT modernization of all these companies will be coupled with our value-added services, and we wanted to put proposals to these companies. So that being the case, we decided to recreate the sales system based on this new categorization. So based on one NTT concept, from October this year, we'll be further accelerating our sales effort based on one NTT strategy. So sales transformation and go-to-market reflecting such services and shifting to value-added services, and also cost efficiency improvement by using shared service center and improving our cost efficiency. With this, we believe that this fiscal year, as things stand right now, our operating margin is 2.6%, approximately $300 million. That's our profit. But we want to improve this to 10 million and operating margin of 7%. That is our goal. That is all. Thank you very much. Thank you. So allow me now to ask three questions to Mr. Ozaki. So, Ozaki rather. My first question. The impact of COVID-19, that is what I would like to ask. Fiscal year 2020, the guidance for fiscal 2020 for overseas sales is 120 billion impact. And also in terms of operating income, 25 billion negative impact is being foreseen. That number has been disclosed. What is the current situation with regard to such negative impact? And also, I would assume that this might be a difficult question for you to respond to, depending on the situation, on how the situation evolves. But after next fiscal year, what is going to be the likely situation? Can you try to envision what is going to be the situation for the next fiscal year? Thank you very much. So the impact of COVID-19 for this fiscal year, in the first quarter, the impact in terms of sales at NTT Limited was 16 billion yen impact. On a full year basis, we believe that close to 80 billion yen impact is likely to be there for sales on a full year basis. That is the current plan that we have. On a monthly basis, we cautiously monitor the situation. At NTT Limited, we've established this plan, and we believe that the situation is very much in line with the plan which we have established. So the impact on sales right now, up until the month of August, is roughly very much in line with our projection. So 8% in terms of the percentage, in terms of the impact on sales is seen, especially in Asia. We are beginning to see significant impact in sales in Asia. Now turning to NTT data, right now, the financial impact of COVID-19 is not yet prevalent. But primarily based on North America, the order taking is beginning to slow down. So going forward, there could be potential impact. So we are cautiously monitoring the situation.
Hi.
So second question. The investors' biggest interest is the international global business. So the medium-term strategy, what is your financial target in fiscal year 2023, $25 billion, and 7% operating profit margin. On the last page, you talked about limited activities, the image of the activities. So if you could quantify this, 2.6% in 3 years' time will go up to 7%. If you could quantify this a little more, please. This year, 300 million is the profit target. In fiscal year 23 is $1 billion. So it's a challenging goal, but we will take measures one by one and accumulate block one by one. And with that, we think we can achieve this target. As I mentioned earlier, sales transformation will be driven from October around the world. And this activity, from my experience from the front line, will take a little time, because the customers' IT challenges need to be heard carefully, understood, and planned, and budget need to be secured, and have our services used. It takes time for our service to be installed. So the activities that we've taken so far will become orders in 1 year time, and in fiscal year 22 or 23, it will have a positive impact on our financial results. I think that's the kind of timeline. So the key here is, in the meantime, from now to fiscal year 21, we need to take measures of the business process optimization expeditiously. And by reducing cost, we can have competitive price. And if the customers can choose us, then it will lead to profit. So this is something we have to do. By having two wheels of a car, 7% can be achieved in fiscal year 2023. Thank you. So in your explanation, you talked about the sales on the offense side, how the high value added service can be grown. This is important. I understand. So in your presentation, you talked about the high added value service, ratio of total sales. The graph, if you could project that slide. So in IR Day last year, NTT Limited, Jason Goodall, CEO, talked about 50% in fiscal year 2023. We are frequently asked by the investors that, so this 50% high added value services, data center, managed service, ratio, or the breakdown. So we are asked to give the breakdown, rough breakdown. So could you enlighten us on that? Data center, 30%. Managed service, 30%. Network, 20%. And cloud communications, this is voice service, is the remainder. Understood. Thank you. So data center, 30%. Managed services, 30%. So those two account for a large portion. So one additional question. Data center, managed services, market size. How do you think the market will evolve? Will this grow strongly? And as the player in the market, what do you think is NTT's competitive edge, differentiation that allows us to capture market share vis-a-vis the competitors? What do you think are our strengths? Thank you. Yes, the market size. The global market size is 40 trillion yen, and especially the cloud-type managed services is now growing strongly. The growth is around 20%, 8.5 trillion yen, 20%. Data center market size is around 13 trillion yen. Growth is 10%. Now, our current status is, in managed services, North America is strong on a year-on-year basis. A 30% growth, although the sales is still small. Data center is now also growing at 15%. So this is where we stand at. And our strength, as mentioned here, we have global network and data center and cloud service platform that can allow us to offer managed service. So the global capability, and another strength is our relationship with our customers, customer intimacy. We can provide good service backed by good technology and automation, and that allows us to generate profit. So that model is our strength. Thank you.